Tussle, living the dream. From Tokyo to London, across the globe, respecting the craft, we're in the know. No gimmicks or fakes, just pure passion and skill. The best talents from every wrestling hill. We dive deep into the stories behind the ring. Respecting the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, respect the fight. We bring the best, we can't hide. Respect the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, respect the fight. We bring the best, we can't hide. We dive deep into the stories behind the ring. Respect the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, respect the fight. We bring the best.
And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 246, and we are joined here by the good brother himself, TUSSLEMANIA. What's going on, brother?
My dude, thank you for having me, Bubba. Good to
No,
be here.
no.
Good to be here.
Thank you, man. This is great to finally get to have a chat with you. Like I said before we started live, we've been talking for a minute now. I've definitely been, again, a fan of your work, loving what you've been doing, the insane just stuff you create. I'm glad we could finally do this here. But also, before we keep going, I want to thank again Stephen Cricks for the amazing theme. So love the also intro there. So thank you so much. But Tussle, before we get into everything, I do want to ask you. I have to ask you the question I ask everyone that comes on. You heard the name of the podcast. It's called Respect the Craft. So for you, when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean to you?
Oh man, the art form, bro. Just everything that makes wrestling wrestling and all the esoteric parts. That makes it even better, bro. All the little inside stuff that only the true hardcore fans understand. That's the sauce, the magic. That to me is the craft. And when you get it, you get it. And when you don't get it, it's very clear when you meet a casual and talk to them about it. And they're like, oh, that's just fucking, oh, that's weird. That's fake. It's lame. It's like, okay, you don't
You're just
care,
not
bro.
going to understand. It's okay. It's okay.
You're not
It's
gonna
okay.
get it. Yep. I've learned to let that go now. When people are like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make them believe
Yep.
as cool as they think a clip can be, something's not connecting.
Yeah, something still doesn't. And it's okay. It's one of those where it's just like, well, we let it go.
Mhm.
For those that do have that respect for it and do have that, again, true passion for it, we enjoy and we thrive with them. But with that being said, I want to know a little more of, for you, what was it that made you decide to join this side of the craft? Because again, awesome photography work, cinematography work. For you, what was it that made you decide you wanted to do this on the wrestling side of things? What was it that made you decide to join our crazy craft here?
Dude, it kind of all fell into place a little bit. Sort of the origins of it was I used to shoot for Nike and Vans in the water sports industry. And one of the people that I worked with very closely in the water sports industry was Wes Briscoe. So Wes Briscoe, the son of Gerald Briscoe, he was a pro wakeboarder and he was a very successful pro wakeboarder. So I would shoot with him during the day, and then later in the night he would bring us to shows, usually FCW shows, which is the predecessor of NXT.
Yep.
And back then he was wrestling with his tag partner was Xavier Woods. And I've watched him have matches with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and a bunch of people before they were super, super well known. And
Yep.
unfortunately, he got a knee injury, was put on the shelf for a little bit. kind of never really had an opportunity back after that. But he was working on the indies, and after the sport had kind of fizzled away a little bit, I was shooting weddings and random stuff like that. My buddy brought me to an indie show, which was an MLW show. Wes was there, and Wes was like, "Yo, you got to start coming to shows and shooting," because he remembers my skill and what I
Yeah.
accomplished in that other sport. He was like, "Bro, it should be easy for you to transfer over." So I started shooting random shows with him, MLW. Fucking the rest is history, man. Shortly after that, I met Darby. I shot Darby's wedding.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, bunch of cool stuff. Just meeting new people and different opportunities leading to other opportunities. And I always made it a point every show I went to try to make an impression on one person and see where that relationship can actually bring you to. And it's all about just people vouching for you, bro. This weekend I worked at NWA show, and I wouldn't have been there if it weren't for homies vouching for me, saying, "Yo, he needs to be here. He can bring something. He can offer something that others can't." So it helps a lot, bro.
No, definitely so. And again, like I said, this isn't just because you're on here. I've loved seeing just from the pictures you take into the videos you're making, the clips, just catching those insane moments. It's been crazy to see. And we're definitely going to get into that for a bit. But before I do want to get to the comments for a section, we got our good buddy Smiley in the chat saying, "Good evening, gentlemen." What's going on, Smiley?
Hey, buddy.
What's going on, man? Thank you for watching. He's someone definitely. I hope one day you guys get to work, because you catching his just insanity as well would be awesome.
Mhm.
But when it comes to that now, creating the brand we know now, creating TUSSLEMANIA, how was that process for you? Because for those that again have seen your work, seen the transition, and what under your shoot name, as we will, under
Mhm.
your shoot name photography, how do
Mhm.
we get to that growth into the TUSSLEMANIA brand?
Bro, so I actually started off as a photographer predominantly,
Yeah.
and I swear for like 5 years I made fucking $0, dude. So it was a struggle, man. So I uh right around the 5-year mark of me just working my ass off and shooting whatever opportunity I had, I met Low Key, and I had a conversation with Low Key after a show. I pulled him aside because he's always getting dragged in different directions. So I pulled him aside and made sure to have his attention for a little bit and basically poured my heart out, bro. Told him all of my woes, all of my plights, all of the shit that like a veteran understands. And I remember he grabbed me and said, "Bro, I completely understand. Here's my number. Call me later tonight." Bro, I had a 3-hour conversation with him, and it changed so much. And he helped me not only realize my value, but he implemented some business acumen that changed a lot of stuff for me. So the process of TUSSLEMANIA growing and expanding really popped off once I decided to fully commit to video, because I saw a need for video work, and a little bit of a oversaturation in photography. So choosing to be among a smaller group and trying to excel in that and make a name for myself certainly helped. Still to this day, most of the production people I meet are usually photographers. It's very rare to meet like a slow-mo ringside video guy. So I feel like I've helped create like a little bit of a niche doing that. And just having the different opportunities of working with different people, and hyper focusing on the video work, I saw, to answer your question a little more detailed, I saw what the general mass was doing, and I tried to make it a point to do not necessarily the opposite, but like everyone just copies the same shit, bro. Everyone was using
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
camera and the same lens. It's like everyone had a Canon and everyone was shooting with a 24 to 70 2.8. And that's like some fucking photography jargon, but if you know, you know. And that's just like the basic kit that everyone was like, "Oh, okay, I got that. Now I'm a fucking ringside photographer." And it's like, dude, there's so many other options and so many different variables and different things you can do to create a unique look, whereas everybody was just copying what the blueprint was, which is okay, but that's just never been my style, dude. I want to be different and I want to be recognizable. So I made sure to make a look, and that look is what most describe as like cinematic, high saturation, high contrast. I like bright colors. I like my shit to pop. I like shallow depth of field. I like a separation between my subject and its background, and that's just kind of become my look. And it's cool. One of my favorite compliments is, a lot of big companies, when you work for them, they just use your footage and you get paid. So it's cool. It's not like you're going to get butthurt about it or whatever, but every now and then it's cool to get a little bit of recognition. And sometimes, like a company like New Japan, I've worked for them several times and they never put your logo or anything. But my favorite compliment is when someone will write me and say, yo, I saw your footage and I knew it was your footage just because of how it looks. And that's cool, man, because that means I created an aesthetic and a look that I can be fucking proud of. Because, dude, people message me almost. I just got a text yesterday from someone. What kind of camera do you use? And then I got a text later that day. What kind of settings do you use? What kind of software do you use? And it's like, people just trying to get your secrets. But
Yeah,
it's
they're
like,
trying to.
nah.
It's like, come on, man. Like, don't be that obvious with it. Like,
Yeah.
don't. And it's a thing of, for you, again, going to that side of it, deciding this is what I want to do. How was it for you, that adapting portion of it? Because I can imagine you're used to this, you're doing photography side, but seeing this need is there. There's a gap in that side of it. How is it for you finding that? Again, we don't want the secrets of the trade because we already saw people are trying to take it. But for you, how was it finding that and finding what was comfortable to create this aesthetic of yours? But before
Dude.
we get into that, I do want to show some love to the DWO boys in the
Hey,
chat.
my
What's going
boys.
on, guys? What's going on?
Those are my guys
Much
right
love
there.
always. Much love always to the DWO podcast. Give them
The
some love
homies.
as
The
well.
homies. Yeah, so actually there was like a moment for me that I remember very fucking vividly. It was at a local wrestling show, and again, this was like my weird transition from photography to videography, which I think
Got you.
is just like a huge pinnacle point of my whatever process. Um, and the gist of me answering that question. So, anyways, I was ringside and there was a guy wrestling, local wrestling show, and this dude was like a viral guy.
Okay.
I believe his name is Adrian. He does like stuff inside of like Walmart. They'll do like crazy spots
Oh,
inside of
okay. Yeah,
Walmart
yeah,
on
yeah.
the
Okay.
tables and shit.
Yep.
So he was there and he had given me the Iggy earlier, like, yo, we're gonna be doing this crazy spot here, here, and
Got you.
here. If you can be in position for it, that'd be fucking rad. And there
Awesome.
were like 4 or 5 photographers there, and I just remember sitting there in perfect position and going, "Damn, what would be more valuable for me to get a couple frames of him in the air and shoot like a sequence of this, or to get like a slow-mo clip and make it be like super cinematic and badass?" And that was like the moment that I was like, "Fuck, I should start doing more of this." So at that point is when I kind of started hyper focusing on my camera can switch back and forth between photo and video. There's a little bit of a delay, but you can get away with it. So what I
Got you.
at that point I started focusing on all of the action, shoot clips, clip, 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 clip. And then if there's in between moments where they're resting, rest holds in the corner, doing different things, the in between stuff as they call it, then I switch over and try to get some still photos of that. So the whole process of that kind of fell into my lap because at this point, when I transitioned into video, knowing low key got me connected with a lot of people that enabled me to skip. Like, granted, for 5 years, I shot shitty Florida wrestling with a bunch of, just homies trying to make it, And then after I met low key, I started traveling a lot, especially to Texas. Still to this day, people think I'm from fucking Texas. Got an opportunity to work with some really cool people, one of which mainly being Ninja Mac and Brian Keith,
Ooh,
and just
okay.
traveling around with them, shooting with them when they're just like at the peak, bro, just doing really, really cool stuff. And that just kind of spoiled me, but also gave me a crash course to like, yo, this is how these guys wrestle. It's good to get a little heads up, a little pregame when I shoot with them to know if they're going to be doing spots over here, or whatnot, so that I can be prepared to make sure I nail those shots. But as far as the evolution of the look, um, it's a it's a little bit secret sauce of the camera that I'm using, which everyone asks me all the
No,
time.
yeah,
People
we
always
definitely
want to
don't
know.
want we don't want to give that out because, again, someone, you never know who's listening. So
Yeah,
we're just again,
yeah,
finding that, though, finding that moment of like, this is it. That's amazing to hear.
yeah. The one main thing is like if you look at Japanese photography,
Yeah.
they all use Nikon, and Nikon, Sony, Canon, they all give a different look just right off of the gate, right out of the box. So when you pair that with certain lenses, you can create a certain aesthetic. And between me shooting Nikon, which already gives me a different look because like I said, 95% of people shoot Canon or Sony. Very, very few of us shoot Nikon. So when I see a Nikon shooter, I'm like, yo, that's the homie right there. So there's fucking Sammy talking shit. Sammy, you
I,
son of a bitch.
I
But
knew exactly it had to be Sammy or it was Phil, and I don't think Uncle Phil would be like that today.
nah,
So,
Uncle Phil's a nice boy. That's
but
definitely a
thank you for
quainty
watching.
Sammy.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
watching, Sammy. Again, we're trying to rush this so you can get into the game. So just give us a
Sammy
few,
always supporting.
Sammy.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Sammy,
also
we'll play some video games in a little bit.
but also
Hell yeah.
shout out to Phoenix Nitro in the chat there. Tuss, one of the best
Yo.
cinematographers in the game, no doubt. There you go.
Phoenix is
Much
the
love.
man. That dude is my new favorite fucking commentator. He's awesome. He does such a good job. We have him at the Ohio Revolver shows, and I very, very, very much hope to see him at the next Revolver show. So amazing, amazing commentator work.
He did put you over on Twitter though, Tuss. There you go. He was nice
Sammy.
on the Twitter gimmicks, but he's gonna be a little more like this
He
here.
get
So
he gets saucy. He gets saucy. Yeah, Sammy's the homie. The shit that Sammy's done for me, man, is like it's insane. Like I wouldn't have half the success that I have without Sammy and just the connections he's given me and all kinds of stuff. And it's kind of wild because like there's a cool story behind me even meeting Sammy because mutual friend Sue Young, I had worked with her a little bit of video and she would always hit me up and be like, yo, Sammy's trying to get a hold of you, and I'm like, "Fuck, like, give him my number, like, it shouldn't be like, make it happen, make it happen." So then again, like, a little bit of time goes on, she hits me up again, she's like, "Yo, Sammy's trying to fucking get a hold of you," and I was like, "Shit, what the fuck can I do?" So I made this video, and it was of Swerve, and I know Swerve is a good friend of Sammy's. So I made that video, maybe a week later, I just fucking went on Twitter and I wrote, "Yo, at Sammy Callahan, I hear you're fucking looking for me." And bro, within 15 minutes, he DM'd me and he's like, "Bro, I need you to do this type of work for me." And he popped up he referenced the Swerve video. And then right after that, he was like, "What do I got to do to get you to a show?" And fucking from there, dude, history, dude. Took one match and one show. I remember that after one match, I showed him a clip. The very first show that I was at, Sunday Fun Bay, it was Chris Bay versus Jake Chris, and
mm,
Chris did a dive, and I shot a slow mo clip of it, and I loaded it onto my phone real quick, and I ran back like right after the match ended because you have like fucking 2 minutes.
yeah,
Found Sammy, loaded it on my phone, and I was like, "Dude, check out this clip," just to fucking show him a little something. And he looked at the clip and he looked over at me. He goes, "Yeah, I need you at every show now." And I was like, "Oh, that's
and
my
there we
dude,
go. That's
bro.
that's everything. That's
Yeah,
awesome to hear.
that's like my
And
dad now, bro."
apparently, Sammy doesn't like your camera right now. He says, "I don't get what's up with your cam, Tussle. You look like a crazy person right now."
It's my
It,
fucking
it might be because he's flipped right now. Because I think how the logo even looks flipped in the corner right there. So he might
oh,
just be.
we flipped.
So
Yeah, it's just
that might just be it.
that's my computer's fucking camera. I didn't have time to set up anything fancy because I had a 6 a.m. flight, Sammy,
Oh
and I'm gonna
Jesus!
play video games with you, even though I have a 6 a.m. flight, Sammy.
See, this is what he does here for you, Sammy. This is what he does.
Yeah,
But no,
bro.
that's awesome again to hear even that story. Uh, not the fake. He has a neck. There's a whole tussle neck right there.
I got a neck. I got a neck.
Oh, and here we go. DWO though saying Tussle looks so badass. Thank you,
Those are my
DWO.
guys. Those are my
There you
guys right
go.
there.
Gotta.
Yeah.
There you go, Sammy. Go do some hell diving over there.
Yeah, go hell dive, bro. Go
But
hell
no,
dive with Palmer.
we'll give you back Tussle in just a little bit. We
Yeah.
want to keep going here because now we want to talk about that though. Again, finding that aesthetic, finding that, and now the aesthetic even evolving after that because it's only gotten even crazier. Every show I see, it looks even more insane. The clips everyone gets to see. If you're following Revolver, you're seeing the amazing work between Tussle and Sammy and all the insane edits you guys do. How has that process been in creating now the vibe we see at Revolver as well?
So one cool thing that Sammy told me one day, he might not remember, but he did fucking say this, is he said that my filming is like a cheat code for him because if he was on the ground floor doing the filming, his vision is my vision is as close to his vision as fucking possible. So
Got you.
the secret sauce is our fucking bond and our connection and our workflow now. So basically the workflow is obviously I shoot everything after the shows. I usually fly in a little early, stay with Sammy, fly out a couple days late, stay with Sammy so that we can do the process of getting the edits out and whatnot. But typically the process is I load up all the fucking clips, organize them as best as possible, put them up on a hard drive, transfer them over to Sammy's hard drive, and then we usually sit there and get the edits done. But it's 95% him. His editing style is very distinct, and he's always he can maintain that Revolver style while using different looks and different sort of templates and whatnot. You'll see that from just the different edits that he puts out. We just released one the other day of Brent, and Brent all bloody and having like a really dramatic promo of him fucking pissed off. And there's a mood and a tone that's set there with the visuals, the looks, the overlays, everything that's put into the video, as well as the music. And then today there was another one that was released with Billy Starks that has a totally different look, more colorful, still has that Revolver aesthetic, partly because of the look of the video, but also because of Sammy's fucking vision of how he puts together his editing. That's like honestly the secret sauce is fucking the combination of my filming and his editing is like there's so much that we can accomplish right there, bro. Like we talk about it all the time. There's like I envision a future where like Sammy and I are working together somewhere on like a bigger scale because like the shit that him and I accomplished just fucking the two of us, dude, is insane. And there's other places that have like bigger crews and whatnot, and this shit don't look as cool as as cool as our stuff
No,
does.
it definitely does
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
and it keeps getting even more. Like every time I see what you guys put out, I've said it post every show. I'm just like, how do they make it look even better? And again, the team just continues to grow. Seeing what you guys put together between your filming, between Sammy's editing, between even shout out to Gringo Loco. I know he's part of the lighting of it all, and seeing what
For
he
real,
creates
dude.
with that, like it is awesome to
For real.
see. And the comments going a little wild. We got a Big Rig saying, "I heard I'm Sammy's favorite." No, we're not gonna put lies here in the chat. Big Rig, come on.
Sammy hates Big Rig, and that's facts. But I will agree with this comment here. Matthew Palmer is not only the secret sauce for Revolver, but the secret sauce for me. He happens to be my spirit animal and someone I look up to. He's a great man, great man. I always like when Papa Palmer's around. He always
But
uplifts the mood. But yeah, the core crew though, we gotta fucking shout out Uncle Phil, dude. Uncle Phil
definitely,
does so much behind the scenes. He really is like it's like so equal parts Sammy and Phil when it comes down to like the logistics of getting the shit done, especially like day of when like last minute issues come up and whatnot. Like the fact that we have two of them is great. And there's certain issues that I bring to Sammy and there's certain issues that I bring to Phil. And it's nice that we have that division and I know who to go to get shit done. Like on fucking show day, you don't want to fucking really bother either one of them, but there's certain things that are like, "Oh, okay, I'll go bother Phil with this first
yep.
before I try to fucking hunt down Sammy."
Now, again, much love to Phil, friend of the show here. Is always good to chat about all this,
Yeah,
talking
that's the
Revolver,
homie.
talking about all the insanity they go to. And I give him credit because doing all of this on top of his normal, just insane schedule, on top of the insanity you guys bring with multiple shows in the span of weeks. So I give you guys the utmost just credit for being able to pull this off at that high level, and the
Yeah,
momentum keeps going. So
yeah,
much
for real,
love
dude.
always. Much love always. There we go. We got Big Rig saying hashtag trust and Phil. Definitely. Uh, Palmer, I'd go to Phil on show days. Yep. Apparently, Palmer doesn't know anyone, according to Sam. He doesn't know Jeff Hardy, and he doesn't even know Phil.
Palmer got a couple friends backstage, pretty much Swanee and Shelly these days, and me.
They have a crew. They have a crew.
Yeah.
Wait, are you telling us something, Tussle? Are you also in this crew? Are you there?
Bro.
Are you in their high school locker room, as Matthew Palmer wants to say that they
if we're ranking friends, I'm definitely high up there on Swanee and Palmer's list. Not so much Shelly, but between those two, yeah, I'm fucking at the very least an honorary member of the crew. I can hang with them boys whenever.
But we don't know who Hef Hardy is. We know who Jeff Hardy is, but we don't know who Hef Jardy is. But good evening, sis. We got my sis in the chat. Good evening, gentlemen. Sweet tattoos. There you go. Tuss does have some sweet tattoos.
Shout out to fucking Lindsay Snow, dog. She gave me the Lucha Underground tattoo, the skateboard. Here's my Revolver tattoo. Samuel has questions. Samuel questioning my fucking loyalty.
We're gonna do one of those just to make sure we can see that up close and personal there. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I actually got a compliment about that tattoo specifically at an NWA show this weekend.
Nice.
See, Tuss is screwed up. Told you.
There you go. So
told you. And Palmer can make those shots, bro. He can call that shit.
There you go. So he's definitely gonna be one to I guess Tuss was a fan of the poster. Because shout out to the next show right there on May 17th. Yeah, another Friday right there. The crew's up and center right there. Front and center with this one for the next Revolver show. So we'll definitely see what's going to be happening with that insanity, because a lot is being announced already. We're a few weeks away, and the card is going insane with that. It's all play, Tussle. It's not even a real tattoo.
Yeah, they scratch off. Off.
You're playing the long game. Yep. One day it's just going to reveal he's just going to have a crew tattoo. That's it.
Sammy,
it's been fake the whole time.
This is what happens to Sammy when he's sitting there waiting for us to hop on and play video games with him.
Oh,
he gets all antsy. He's going to start texting me bad things. Oh, that's someone else's fine.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Rowdy.
While Sammy's there, we're gonna start talking a little bit about the show too, because we want to get Tuss's thoughts on this stuff here. We're gonna start with this on one of the guests I had on yesterday with Myron Reed. I want to talk about this insanity that was announced as it's a singles match right here. Speedball Mike Bailey going head to head with the young GOAT himself, Myron Reed. Myron gave us his thoughts yesterday. I'm clipping that as we speak. Myron said Speedball knows his martial arts. He knows this, but Myron Reed knows how to whoop ass. So he's going to bring that to Dayton in a few weeks.
Myron's got a lot of momentum right now, bro. He is kind of hitting a new stride, so to say. And I know that he's been looking for opportunities, and he wants higher level competition, and he wants singles opportunities. So this is, you couldn't ask for any more than that, bro. Speedball is one where you see him on the card and it just invigorates you. It's just pure excitement. And especially for me, I've been lucky enough to get close with Speedball the past couple years. And now at this point, he's like one of the big homies. And those make matches so much more enjoyable when it's legit like a friend. Actually, I don't know if it was the last match. I don't think it was the match with HOG. I think it was the show before that, Ready or Not.
Okay.
At the end of his match, he was laying there, super fucking disoriented, fucking semi knocked out, and his hand was reached over. And he was fucking giving me like a little one of these. So I fucking reached my hand over and he just grabbed my hand and the camera. And I was just like, oh man, that's the homie right there, dude. That's the homie. One, because he knew it would be a cool shot. And two, because like he knew that would be like a cool moment for me. And when you watch back the pay-per-view, you can see for like a quick second, you can see him like reach out and grab my hand. I'm like, that's so cool, man. That shit's very meaningful to me when people like give me those shots. So Speedball's always like one of my favorites to shoot with. That match is gonna be insane, dude. That's typically Speedball's like a opener, dude. So I wouldn't be mad seeing that match just opening the show, but We'll see, man. We'll see. Feel like Myron's got something to prove in a match like that. So
No, we definitely talked about that yesterday. Again, Myron usually more of the multi-man. If it's in
yeah.
teaming with the fellow rascals, if it's a scramble, if it's just again
Hmm.
any form of that. Again, to do this singles, especially against Speedball, there's a lot to prove here. Especially who knows, trying to earn another opportunity at that remix title, even go up a little bit to Shelly, try to get a world title shot. You never know what could happen with a big match win like this. So we'll see what happens. But Sammy's saying no, there's a GCW tattoo underneath it. He's seen it. We gotta love Sammy. We gotta love Sammy here. DWO say can't wait for another Friday. Neither can we. Myron Reed doesn't even know Jeff. There's a theme tonight with Jeff
Sammy,
Hardy. There's a theme with Jeff Hardy tonight.
I'm gonna have to text Jess to fucking get Sammy to fucking behave.
Oh man. But we're gonna keep going here because now that Palmer is here, I guess we should talk about his match. We'll give him some credit as well because the crew will be in action, as it will be Palmer and Swan going head to head in a grudge match here against Jake Christ and Ace Austin, two men that unfortunately are not too fond of the crew, especially with the recent actions, with everything that's been going on.
Hmm.
This is definitely going to be a grudge match in Dayton in a few weeks.
Lot of funny business going on between these four guys as far as screwing each other over in matches and opportunities and titles and whatnot. But man, I will say if you can name a more charismatic team than Palmer and Swan, come on, you can't. You can't. That team is money, dude. That team is money. I was actually telling Sammy and a few other people that we should mic anytime they're in the ring together. We need to fucking find a way to mic them up because the one-liners and the stuff that they spit between each other is just it's pure gold, man. That stuff needs to be heard and documented because I'm lucky enough to be close enough to hear some of it and part of it, but also my mic can't necessarily pick up a lot of it over the ruckus and roars crowd that we have at Revolver.
Yeah, I can imagine that's definitely you hear it every time in a clip. You just hear the crowd going insane. So I don't know if unfortunately would be able to pick up, but maybe that's something we gotta we gotta see. We gotta get if we can get a Palmer mic. We'll just get a hashtag the crew audio just for
Yeah.
those moments right there. And
Hashtag
yes,
Mike
Palmer,
Palmer.
you are wrestling on that night. I think the Palmer the
Oh
the
shit.
the poster should let you know you were be involved on 517.
Palmer, you're
So
booked, Bubba. We're booked. We
where's the
did
grudge?
it.
Where's the grudge? Well, you've cost both of these men championship opportunities. Swan hitting hitting Rich just Swan hitting Ace with the championship
Hmm.
might have been a reason to have a grudge match here. So just say
Hmm.
that might have been the reason. Not my job, Matthew Palmer. Here you
And
go.
all the stuff that you've done to our boy Jakey Christ. Oh, sweet innocent Jakey Christ and Bobby. You forget you
Ah,
broke Bobby's leg. Have we forgotten already?
he did. That was a shout out to my knucklehead fam. They in the building. What's going on? That's my boy Toe right there. Much love, brother. But we'll keep it going because from one grudge match, I want to go to another that was just announced earlier in the day.
Oh yeah.
They asked for more. They asked for more, and it's going to
Oh
be a
boy.
no DQ match. And it's a little
Oh
funny
boy.
because Steve Macklin earlier in the day was having a little bit of an IG live, and I decided to ask, "Hey, so your
Hmm.
thoughts on what Alpha Sigma Sigma said?" His
Mm,
response, "What's an Alpha Sigma Sigma?"
love
Just
that.
just even putting salt in the wounds after
Love
what
that.
Red did to Alpha Sigma Sigma. But Brent Oakley has just stepped up once again, and we have for another Friday Steve Macklin versus Brent Oakley. And I got to give it to the boys though; they're coming into this not scared. They're ready to go,
Hmm.
and I'm looking forward to see what Brent does against Steve Macklin here.
Oh, it's gonna be a violent one, bro. It's gonna be very violent. I'm a big Steve Macklin guy. That's one of my dudes. He's fucking absolutely one of my favorites in the ring. One of my favorites to shoot with. He's a absolute wild man. He's he goes full throttle, as I like to say.
Gotcha.
That dude just always brings it. And then like after the match, he'll give you a big old hug and be fucking super super cool. So that's one of my favorite guys as far as what he's doing in Revolver right now. He's just on a tear, dude. Every time he's in the ring, that dude is just 100 miles an hour and never backs down. It's very cool to see, and this match has a cool little story to it, cool little build. We saw a different side of Brent with that promo that he did. I've personally never seen him angry like that, so that's pretty wild to see those new emotions coming from him. So he's got a tough task, but he's not going to go down easy, bro. He's definitely going to have his boys with him. We'll just have to see who Macklin has with him, because usually those posters allude a little bit to if they're going to have someone with him. So the fact that this doesn't say that he's going to be with Red or Kelly or anyone with him is who knows? Maybe they're banned from ringside. We'll see.
Again, with the option being no DQ, you never know what could happen. But shout out to Macklin as well, because he has legit made the term a street fight literally be a street fight. Shout
Dude.
out to that last Philadelphia event with you guys and House of Glory. I knew him and Charles Mason would be an insane match, but taking it to the streets, I never thought that would be
Yeah.
a scene that we would see.
So I was given a little bit of a heads up that like there's a slight possibility that these boys are going to try to fight outside. So okay,
Okay.
that's fine. That's something I can prepare for. Keep myself more on this side of the ring so that I can be easily
Ready to, yeah.
escorted out. And the security was pretty good there with helping us get a path and whatnot. But when we got out there, it was fucking pure chaos, and that van was honking their horn at us, and I was like, I was trying to look inside the van to be like, who is that in there? Is that Uncle Philly in there doing this for the spot? No, that was a fucking real dude in the road. And then fucking Macklin throws Mason onto the car, which is just amazing, outstanding work. And then after they scuffle and get out of the way, one of the refs runs up to the fucking hood of the van and uses his shirt to like polish off the van. I was like, this is it's like the if you can't appreciate that as like one of the greatest pieces of pro wrestling in modern history, then you're not a fan and you got to get the fuck out of here. That shit was brilliant. And
No,
then,
yeah, that was
bruh,
amazing to see. That was
it's
insane. And then to know that, because I thought I was thinking as well. I'm like, oh, that is cool that they got someone to just be waiting there for the right moment. And then I think it was on the DWO that I heard you tell the story that no, that was a real van. I'm like,
It's the real deal.
to do
It's the
that in the
real deal.
streets of Philly.
It's kind of insane, yeah. But that's like a testament to like Macklin too. Like
Yeah.
no one's gonna fuck with Macklin, and I think he gives off that vibe because before and after he threw him onto the car, he was flicking the fucking driver off too. So like if that dude was a hothead in there, that could have been an explosive situation. But I think he recognized like, fuck, what the fuck? I think we spooked him a little bit because he was honking the horn for a little bit. And then after a while, he was like, all right, these motherfuckers are insane.
What I think it's the thing of two, like it's 1-2 guys fighting. If you don't even notice as a referee, you're thinking, oh, this is a legit fight. And then there's a whole group around them that even if you tried to like, oh, let me try to be a hothead, get out of the car, there's a lot more of them than they are you. So it could have led to a lot other things at Philadelphia.
Yeah, he pieced that together. I think he pieced that together.
Also, Palmer said his name was Bobby. Damn it, Palmer.
Yeah, it took all of me not to hop in there, but I was instructed to get the hot angles, and if anything crazy happened, Sammy told me to go ahead and jump up on the ring apron to try to get a better angle. I was confused. I was disoriented. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't think it was actually going to go through. I got the shot when I should have saved Bobby. I apologize, Bobby. That's my bad.
It's okay. It's all for the good of the shot, though. For the good of the shot.
Yeah.
But no, again, we've seen what Tussle has to do. Get on those high posts. Go to the outside. We saw it in that street fight, but it was great. Again, the shots are worth it. We've seen the amazing clips from both of those shows. And before we keep going, I do also want to say it was great to see not only you at that Philadelphia show doing your amazing work, but getting to work with Danny Darko and my boy
Mhm.
Hawkeye, I love that that was the dream team right there for that show for Philadelphia.
Yeah, Danny's the man. Shout out to Danny. He was very excited before the show and fucking was hyping me up all the way to the point where we actually got there. And he was one of the first dudes that came up to me when I got into the building. I think he was eagle eyeing the entrance, sensed that I was coming soon, and right when I got there, jumped at me and homied up real quick. He was a very, very professional to work with. Amazing work. There were several photos that when the next few days when we were reviewing stuff, Sammy and I, there were several photos that he was like, "Damn, this shot's fucking awesome. This shot's fucking awesome." And every single time I was like, "Who?" Because we had like legit 6 photographers,
Yeah.
bro, and 90% of the time, he was like, "Danny Dark." I was like, "That's the homie." And on top of it, he took a bunch of photos of me, which I always think is very cool, like, we're there for the workers, we're there for that show, like, no one's trying to get themselves over or whatnot, but the fact that they put a little shine on me and do that, and then, dude, he took some fucking awesome photos of me, dude. That shit's really cool, dude. I really appreciate that shit.
There you go. Again, shout out to Danny. I definitely every time I get to work with him, I'm just amazed by the shots he gets because he's one that he's making sure no matter what corner of the ring he has to go or what lengths he's getting his shot. So he's another one that it's awesome to see.
Yeah, to me, there's a little bit of something that separates, like, what makes a what I'm not gonna say a good shooter or whatever, but what style entertains me, and it really boils down to if they have, like, the eye for the sport and they think a little bit differently. So, like, my absolute favorite of all time is, Ryan Loco, and Ryan Loco's vision and everything he does is out of the ordinary and a little bit different of an angle, a little bit different of a perspective, a little bit different of exposure. He's not afraid to underexpose, overexpose. Um, he does a lot of shutter drag, so he'll take long exposure photos, so the figures ghost and very technical stuff like that, and then he uses film, and he's just outrageously creative in a world of ringside shooters that literally plop in a corner, sit there with their 24 to 70 and get the same fucking shot that 80% of the shooters are getting. So someone like Danny who he has that unique vision and he makes sure to get different angles and a different look than what most people are getting. And for most people they want to be more like the masses, but to me the ones that strive to be different are the ones that are more successful and catch my eye usually. So I put him on that list. Obviously, Ryan Loco is the king of that shit. And then we had another guy ringside with us, camera guy gimmick. That dude has a very, very unique look similar to what people say to me on my work is when you
Gotcha.
see his photos, you're like, boom, that's a camera guy photo. His work is phenomenal, very, very distinct style. And we absolutely had a dream team at that HOG show. It was a little bit crowded for my taste, just because I like to move around and have a lot more movement in my shots. I don't really
Gotcha.
like being too static or being too stuck in one spot, and there was literally people all over the place, so
Yeah. I was looking and I'm like, this is a lot. Like I'm looking like, okay, I know where you're at. I see where my boy Hawkeye's at. I see Danny moving around. I even see BXL moving himself
mhm.
around there, and I'm like, that's a lot of people just around the ring before a match even
Dude,
starts.
it was a
Like,
lot, and then
yeah,
there were several other shooters that, um we either convinced or whatever, it was recommended to them, like, go shoot, like, either from the rafters or go shoot
no,
somewhere else because it would have just been too crazy, dude.
no,
And, like, I'm all for it. I don't wanna take away anyone's opportunities, plus, we had a Revolver had a crew, HOG had a crew, who the fuck is anyone to be like, "Oh, no, that guy's not allowed, blah, 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 blah."
yeah, of course.
And for the most part, Sammy does like having an abundance of content, so the more shooters, the better.
Of course,
Um,
everyone is gonna hopefully have a different outlook
everyone's
of it,
yes.
different perspective. You never know what
Totally,
so that's
totally.
always awesome to see. And
Yeah.
again, with the matches that were happening that day, it was great to see the different shots, different images that came out of it, and all the great
Yep,
content that was created
yep.
that day. and that's continuing to come out because there's still a
Yeah,
bunch of clips that are coming out
there's still a
from
lot. Yeah,
yeah.
there's
And here we
still
go.
quite a bit. We showed a little bit on the DWO podcast. There we
Yep,
go. That's
there
my
we go.
dude right there.
Wrestling
See,
t-shirt guy from DWO. What's going
that's
on? What's
that's
going
the
on?
homie. That's the homie.
Keep it going with that record holding right now with wrestling t-shirts. So keep it going, brother. Keep it going.
Yeah,
But
getting close to 1,000, bro. It's
that
crazy.
is insane. I don't think I've owned that many just normal t-shirts to be able to say. But keep it going, brother.
I
Keep it
know.
going.
It's
But
crazy.
we'll keep it going here as well with another Friday as we're going to talk about this next one that the minute it was announced, I'm like, I hope Sammy has good insurance on the Dayton building because it is going to be a three-way dance featuring, unfortunately, an implosion here of the second gear crew, the SGC going at it as it's Mance Warner, one called Manders, and Matthew Justice colliding here after again the despicable turn of Mance Warner that it started their issues with Mance and Manders. Matthew Justice tried to intervene, unfortunately leading to a little bit of miscue between him and Manders. Now we're here at a three-way dance that again, I don't know if the Calumet Center is gonna be able to hold this in a few weeks. And
Ooh,
oh,
it's
look at
gonna.
that. We got the pup now.
We get the pup here
Oh,
making an appearance.
oh.
Yeah, dude, that match is gonna be so wild. SGC is always like guaranteed rowdiness. So the implosion of SGC, and that's kind of how it's been described too, is the fucking implosion of these boys. Mance, first of all, turning sour, going bad on everyone. That's a story in and of itself.
Yep.
But when you add the other two boys in there and the animosity and the brotherhood they had, and now that brotherhood is dissolved away. That's I was hoping to see some sort of stipulation on this match because there's no way this match just ends in like a normal pinfall. Like these boys are gonna fucking murder each other, and if there's some wackiness or it ends in like a roll up or something lame like that, it's like nah. This needs to be decisive. Needs to be like something needs to happen here where it's like definitive winner and fucking maybe take a little break from each other, boys.
I, I
Reform.
I think this is one of those where because we also know what's coming up next as well because this is one of this three-way dance again. I doubt even that it's announced as just a normal three-way. We know these three are not just going to have your ordinary technical matchup. We're definitely going to see a lot more insanity when it comes from these three, but also knowing what comes a few weeks after with the announcement of Cage of Horrors here.
Mm-hmm.
And we can imagine these two are going to have a lot to come when it comes to that. With Mance, with Manders. I don't think after another Friday, that is the end of this unfortunately implosion of the second gear crew. I hope it one day can be rekindled though. It was always good to see the SGC again, former Revolver tag team champions, the insanity that they've been doing at Revolver. Hopefully that can be rebuilt one day, but for right now, it's just going to be a lot of fights between those guys right there.
A lot of bloodshed, internal bloodshed. Yes, that's gonna be wacko. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Hopefully they can reform at some point. But also they're the type of crew like very much so like the Blackpool Combat crew. Those boys. Sometimes they just gotta fight it out internally and figure it out like that, and maybe that'll be for the better and help them heal and move on. But nothing has been formally announced, I believe, for Cage of Horrors. So yeah, we will have to see. They are conveniently used as the poster boys there, but we can't necessarily jump to any conclusions here.
No, definitely
Um,
not. Again, this is all speculation as
yeah.
usual. I'm still going to throw out again. I've been semi correct with certain times when I predict some things
Hmm.
on this show. I threw out that four corners dance that would possibly happen at Philadelphia, and it happened to a
Hmm.
T. So we'll see if I call something again with this one. But again, only thing that has been announced has been again showing the poster, and it was
Yeah.
announced earlier in the day. I believe last night it was
Oh
actually
yeah.
with the good lucha things. The Revolver World Tag Team Champions will be in action at Cage of Horrors there. So definitely see what Lindsay and Samurai del Sol will be doing on June 22nd. Right there, get your tickets now. Link to both that and Another Friday will be in the description down below. So make sure you
Beautiful.
get your tickets because you're going to want to be at both of those stacked events. Again, Another Friday also featuring the return of one John Moxley to Revolver as
Hmm.
well. So you're going to want to be in the building for that. But last matchup we're going to talk about here with you, Tuss, is going to be this one as the Revolver World titles on the line. Again, representing the crew, defending champion Alex Shelley will go head to head with the debuting Trent Seven. That is a stacked matchup right there for the Revolver World title.
Mm,
And
yeah.
again, the crew has their hands full when it comes to Another Friday in a few weeks.
Yeah, dude, that's a very, very cool matchup. Sammy a lot of times fills me in on a lot of the stuff and future things, what's going on, plans and stuff like that. But a lot of times he'll keep some stuff secret from me, and this was one of them that very much so surprised me when I saw the announcement. Bringing Trent Seven in, that's super super cool for me. Big fan. And the first thing that I posted, I retweeted that post when he made the announcement and said, "Yo, can you imagine a world where Revolver World Champion is fucking Trent Seven? That's pretty fucking cool, man. That's pretty cool." So, Shelly's always been a little hit or miss with me, and as much as I love the other boys in the crew, Shelly did take the title away from my boy Jake Chris, so I always have a little bit of animosity towards him. So I've been looking forward to him losing the title one way or another. So if it has to be to Trent Seven, that's very exciting to me. I just hope Trent doesn't show up alone. He's gonna need a little bit of backup, man, because you know that the crew's gonna be there fucking strong, daddy. They're gonna be strong.
Trent definitely is going to need some backup on that one because again, we know wherever Shelley goes, Palmer and now Swan are definitely not going to be too far
Hmm.
behind. Even though I know Palmer's possibly going to say again, is he booked? Even though we just talked about his match not too long ago. So Palmer, yes, you are needed on May 17th there. So
Yeah,
just saying, um, we heard
we'll
he eats
talk.
cat shit. I've heard something of that nature. I'm not gonna confirm or deny that Alex Shelley might be the consumer of cat shit. But it has been said before. I saw it on a sign once as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, but again, it's going to be a great match no matter what. And that is only the beginning right there because there's so much more to come. So if you guys haven't already,
Hmm.
make sure you are following Revolver to stay up to date with all things Another Friday and Cage of Horrors there because they have a lot coming up in the future. And again, these are the next two shows, but you know Revolver is going to have more to come as well. We have they have photographic evidence apparently. So there you go. So look,
It's been
those
it's been a goal of mine to have one full podcast without the mentioning of Alex Shelley eating cat shit, and it's just fucking impossible. These boys are a little too infatuated with this fact, and I'm just hoping and praying that one time we can just avoid that fucking subject, guys. Come on.
apparently it even went
Come on,
here
guys.
because I've seen the Revolver rewinds. That's usually a subject there. Unfortunately, it
Oh,
made it to respect the
every
craft
time.
as well. It made it to respect the craft.
Yeah, every single time without fail, without fail.
But we're gonna keep going with you here, Tuss, just for a little longer before we let you go. I do want to ask you this because again, with the amazing again clips you've gotten, with the amazing moments you've been able to capture, I know this is gonna be a very loaded question, but I have to ask you it. Has there been a favorite so far? Be it even if it's a favorite talent they've gotten to work with so far, just a moment, something you've gotten to capture that this is like, this is what I'm doing this for.
Ooh, that's kind of tough, but I don't know favorite, but one that certainly fucking one that definitely always has like a really special place in my heart is first of all anytime working with Marina. I have she's like a very special person to me. But the one time, a lot of people don't know that when Roddy was going through his rehab for his injury, I was filming with him like on a weekly basis. So at this point, I had no idea where Roddy was going. often he would be wearing like NXT jackets. There was always like WWE swag all over the place. So to me, I was like, he's still in the Fed, like he's just healing up. And at one point, he fucking sent we made a video and we cut it. And at the very end, he was like, "Oh, we need one more thing." And he fucking sent me a text, and the text was like, "Yo, can you at the very end of the video, can you put available for bookings?" And then like the email like bookroderickstrong@gmail or whatever. And I was like, bruh, all this. I mean, I had been working with him for fucking months, bro, and he kept this a secret from everybody. And when he told me that, he's like, "Bro, my wife knows, my agent knows, and you know, and that's it." So, very shortly after that, I asked him if we could let Sammy know. Sammy ended up booking him for Revolver, and Revolver was one of his first indie bookings. And bro, that match, like I remember seeing him when he came to the arena. I was actually in the ring, like doing some stuff with Jake. And when he arrived, bro, he saw me from like a pretty far distance and he like locked eyes with me and he was like, "Come on, Bubba." And I was like, dude, it was such a fucking cool moment because I had shot with him for months, like I said, like working out, training, all this shit. But in my mind, I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna shoot a match with this dude. And then fucking right away, like that shooting that match with him, it was him versus Speedball, was like amazing, dude. That's got to be up there in one of the more special moments. In addition to the spots that I was fortunate enough to do, but as far as me filming, definitely Roddy being there was like an awesome moment. And then very recently, Marina had a match against Speedball, and she tapped Speedball out, and right after that, she like fucking laser beamed me, dude. And her character, like, come on, she's a fucking badass, you know? She like laser beamed me. And then at that fucking moment, bro, she she like broke down and started crying. And like if you look at the clip, you can see like for a hot second, she like loses it. And it's like the timing, it could be whatever, bro. But to me, it's like the timing of her looking at me and then that happening. And then her hair was covering her face and she like recovered and got back into like tough mode. But like that little moments like that, dude. And then a couple days later, she texted me. She's like, "Can you send me that clip of like the finish?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I got that shit on tap, girl." So just reviewing that, moments like that are fucking like amazing, dude. Those two are like Marina and Roddy are like very important people to me in this industry.
Got you know, and again, both of those, it's insane to see just the stories and seeing where they continue to be. Again, both great. You get to see them. It's funny enough that again, who they are, because it's no secret how their relationship is, and seeing
Mhm.
how far that's gone and how far again both very successful in and out of the ring. So much love to both, and that's awesome to hear. And no, again, I wanted to ask that question. I know it was a little bit loaded because it's like how to pick favorite moments when again
Yeah,
the insanity that you've gotten to capture and the who's who they've gotten to work with. Again, just like the other day, again to talk about you getting to work with Red. I know that was a big moment for you
mhm,
getting to finally do that, especially with your relationship with Loki. That was definitely something
totally.
to get that off the list as well.
Yeah, being able to tell, and this is like there's only been a couple people that I've been able to do this to. Another one was a Homicide. Because when I met Red, I was very excited to be able to tell him that Loki is basically my wrestling dad. Same with Homicide. When I met Homicide, that's a dude that I did not want to approach at all. And I was touring with Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa had already put me over or tried to.
Yeah.
Um, Later I approached him and I was like, "Hey, can I get a couple portraits with you?" And he typical like, "Yeah, whatever." And I was like, "Hey, low key mentioned to like tell you this and this." And he like perked up like, "You know low key?" And I was like, "I'm actually pretty close with low key. I consider him like my wrestling dad. Like he fucking loves and admires you so much. He always speaks the world of you and he really wanted me to meet you and get some photos with you." And he like stood up and got in my face and he was like, "Loki doesn't fucking put anyone over." So later he took photos with me and shit, and later he fucking came up to me and he like showed me a text. He was like, "Bro, Loki just texted me." He's like, "If you're good with Loki, you're good with me." And ever since then, dude, Homicide's always been fucking extra cool with me because of the low key path. So I always got mad love for the low key connection, man.
No, that's awesome to hear, and again to hear that. Shout out to Theo Homicide because that's someone that I've been lucky to be under his wing for a bit, getting to work here in
For
the
real.
NYC scene. He's awesome, man. So definitely love to hear that. I
Yeah.
love to hear that again. You have that close relationship with two of legit, and I don't know if he's still watching. If not, Sammy, I'm still gonna put you over anyway. Two of my favorite wrestlers and two of my all time favorites. Getting to have that relationship with Sammy and Low Key, that's awesome to hear.
Dude, it blows my mind, bro. When Sammy actually called me to hire me, I had a poster in my room, and the poster was a Lucha Underground poster from, I believe, the third pay per view, and it was Mil Muertes, Brian Cage, and Sammy. And those were the three guys on the poster. And I looked at that poster for years. I would look at that poster and be like, yo, I'm going to work with these guys. At one point, I'm going to work with these guys. And in Florida, I ended up working with Mil Muertes. Very cool experience. Eventually, I worked in Texas a lot with Brian Cage. And there was always that lingering. I had never worked with Sammy, bro, ever. So when he called me and hired me, I literally told him, I'm like, bro, I've been looking at this poster for years now, manifesting working with you somehow, and it's fucking coming true, dude. So I'm very much a believer in that type of stuff, and like like that set us on a good foot for us to like have a good bond. And like I remember the very first show, Sammy took care of me like top to bottom, bro. Like by the time I landed, I had a text with like uh, who was picking me up, my hotel, the number, reservation numbers, fucking everything, dude. And when you work at certain promotions, that shit is like last second. You're fucking having to call this guy. Can you pick me up? Am I supposed to get an Uber? Like that shit's always willy nilly like that in fucking the indie world. But Sammy made sure that everything was like super, super taken care of. And just to see that was like blew my mind, dude. And that was the only fucking time Sammy ever put me in a hotel, dude. That show, I like brought him like a Tussle shirt, showed him my work. We collaborated a little bit. And by the next show, dude, very few people stay at Sammy's house, bro. Not to like pull the curtain back or anything, but when he has a show, dude, there's like fucking two or three of us that stay at Sammy's house. Fucking me, Phil, and like Swan. Palmer sometimes. It's a very, very small crew, dude. So to be a part of that is very meaningful, bro. Um, be able to spend time with Jess, their pets, their little kitten Lydia. I
Oh,
was basically living with them the day that they got Lydia. So like the first like week that Lydia was there, she like thought that I was fucking part of the family.
oh,
And I love that I do have that bond and that I've established that, nurtured that relationship enough to like, bro, me doing spots there, I never pitched that. I never was like, Sammy, let me fucking go do a frog splash. That's something that they fucking, that was an idea that they had one show that they pitched to me. And I was like, bro, I would fucking that's like my boyhood dream
yeah.
is to get in the ring and fucking do something. So I think he knew how meaningful that was to me. And to me, when I really sit down and analyze it, the trust that he has in me to go inside of his ring, I could have fucking fallen off of the top rope and looked like a complete fucking asshole. And he had the trust in me to go to the fucking top rope and do a frog splash. Come on, dude. That's fucking incredible. And then, like, bro, when I came back to Florida and I'd shoot Florida shows, some of the Florida wrestlers would be like, "Bro, you fucking did a frog splash in front of 2,000 people at the Wrestling Revolver. Like, I'll never do that." And I'm like, dude, when you put it like that, that's kind of crazy, dude. And when you, uh, the guy, shout out to Luke at I Shoot Wrestling. He's the guy that runs the production for all that. He fucking went back and sent me all the angles of all the clips of both of the spots,
That's
the
cool.
the frog splash and the Canadian Destroyer. So I was able to see the hard cam of the frog splash, bro. The second that I like tease going up to the fucking top rope, because they told me like psychology wise, like look at the turnbuckle, hit it, like look around, really milk that moment. The second that I did that and it registered with the audience, bro, everyone in there fucking stood up, dude. Everybody. That's insane to get that reaction. Like, I got goosebumps rethinking about it. But like that, after I did that, I went in the back and I was like, yo, I fucking get it. I get why you guys put yourself through this shit because that little taste that I got of that adrenaline and that excitement and that like moment, that spotlight, you can't recreate that shit anywhere, bro.
Yep.
So Sammy knew that I was like chomping at the bit to fucking do another spot, and I'm sure he still knows that I'm very fucking willing to do whatever when it's fitting. We actually did have something planned um, on a certain night, and the person that I was supposed to do a spot with ended up getting fucking injured. So like that's just something that we can't, nothing we can do about that.
Of
Maybe
course,
we
yeah.
can rejigger stuff later in the future, blah 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 blah. But in the meantime, just let it be known, like, yo, promotions. I love doing spots here every now and then. Actually, Thunder Rosa's promotion, I had mentioned it to Brian, Brian Cervantes, who runs Mission Pro as well. I was like, dude, I'd love to fucking do a spot here, bro. And he's like, yeah, yeah, I saw your clip, and like, it had a big reaction. And he's like, fucking go talk to such and such because they have one male match in the female promotion. There's always one dude's match. So he was like, go talk to homeboy and see what he thinks. So I talked to my buddy, shout out JP Harlow, and he figured out a way to insert me into the match, fucked with me on the outside of the ring as a cameraman, eventually pissed me off enough to a point where I grabbed a chair from him, sabooed him with a chair, then went up and did a frog. I mean, so cool the way his worker brain figured all that out so that psychology wise it made sense and I'm just not photographer dude wants to fucking get a spot. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
fucking amazing, dude. And then the coolest part about it was not really a pre-match, but it was, I guess you could call it whatever. It wasn't part of like the main card. Point being, Thunder Rosa doesn't do commentary for the whole show. For this match, she was fucking doing commentary. We didn't smarten her up that I was doing a spot. So she's watching me ringside. I got thrown into the fucking stairs. All kinds of shit fucking happened to me. Um, so she's fucking losing her mind. By the time I went up to the top rope, no one had told her again, smartened her up that I was gonna do a frog splash, and a few of us were coining it the tussle splash. While I'm in midair, her on commentary screaming, "Tussle splash!" is like so cool to me, bro, because she's like, I'm very, very, very close with Thunder Rosa. I'm seeing her this weekend. I've been one of her main videographers for a very long time. I fucking love that woman. So to have her on commentary and surprise her like that and then talk to her afterwards and be like, "Hey, was that cool?" Whatever. She's like, "Yo, I had no idea that shit was crazy. Like, all I could do was just put you over and call it the tussle splash." And I'm like, that's so perfect, dude. So like couldn't
Awesome.
have worked out any better, dude. Having her on commentary. Come on, bro. It's amazing.
That's awesome. And again, it makes the moment so organic. It just so you get that genuine reaction. Like that's
Totally.
too perfect
Totally.
right there. There we go. Also, shout out to Second Gunny in the chat. What's going on, brother? So my brother
That's
TUSSLEMANIA.
my guy, yo.
There we
I'm
go.
so glad I got to spend some time with him in Philly. That's a guy that I talk to all the time, and he's one of the very few crossover homies that knows skateboarding and wrestling. Like, big, big, big part of my life is obviously wrestling, but couple other niches that I really, really, really love is jujitsu and MMA and skateboarding. And both of those things, when you find someone who knows those things, it's very esoteric and very much so a little brotherhood. So anytime I post anything that's like skateboarding and really, really like inside baseball skateboarding that like only a true skateboarder would know, he's the first one to fucking message me and be like, "Bro, this is hilarious," or "Bro, this is so true." And I'm like, the validation of at least one person knowing what the fuck I mean on these random ridiculous skate fucking little posts is like brings me a lot of happiness. So like I got to spend some time with him in Philly and he even was able to give me a ride to a show and dude just such a wonderful human being, Second Gunny. What a good dude. Shout out to that homie. And his work is phenomenal.
No,
It's
definitely. It's definitely always a pleasure.
phenomenal.
He's
His
another
his
one.
yeah, his work, the thing about his work to me is it has like a mood you look at his photography and it sets like a mood that's very, very like gritty and tangible, and it's phenomenal, like, to be able to get, like evoke that sort of emotion from an image, and it can be as simple as, like, a setting, not even necessarily like a fucking crazy move in the ring. It can just be I've seen a lot of his work of just, street photography or venues or whatnot, atmosphere stuff where it's just like, dude, the dude gets it. Like I was saying before, there's certain people that have this eye or this vision or look at things a little bit differently. He's got it, bro. He's a dude that I would love to work with more in any sort of capacity. I know that we could produce some really cool stuff together. I tell him all the time, like, bro, we got to set something up. Like, we got to meet a few pro skateboarders and fucking. Every time I see like really cool skate clips, I'm like, man, fuck wrestling, dude. I gotta go into skateboarding, bro. That shit's so cool.
Hopefully, we can find the happy medium. That's what. Shout out to
Right?
my boys at VXS because we've done videos where it's like mixing the two worlds. So we
Yeah.
might have to do something like that. I'm gonna have to talk to my boy Isaac and see
Dude, for
if
real,
we can
bro.
throw something in
We got
that
it.
encompasses all of that, and then we could
Yeah.
get you and Gunny
Yeah.
both at that show.
Yeah.
We'll see
And
what we do.
I used to work with Darby a lot, and we would like well, part of the thing with Darby is like most of the time we wouldn't shoot until like we'd play skate and shit. So like I'd have to play skate with him doing these like goofy ass fucking tricks. I'm out here trying to do like a switch kick flip, and he's out here trying to do like a no comply back 360. Just like I'm like, come on, bro. People don't like. Can we do like shove it's and like traditional shit? But he was always very cool to work with and shit. And now he's got crazy success in the skate
Yeah,
world. So he would be like a cool person to kind of make that connection. But and I will shout out to him. He does Darby still does answer my text if I text him. So shout out to Darby for even giving me a little bit of attention, but not someone that I feel comfortable enough with that I could be like, hey bro, hook me up with all your fucking pro skateboarder homies. And then I
got
have a
you.
friend at my Florida promotion who's a excellent skateboarder. He's very, very talented. And you can even see it like in his wrestling. He'll do a lot of lucha stuff, but the way he pops and the way he gets air and stuff, he like has the same snap and float that he has when he's skateboarding. So it's very cool to see that. Um, but he doesn't know any pros and stuff like that. In the world of skateboarding, there's a fine line between a really good amateur and a legit pro. Like that
Got you.
amateur can do just as much as the pro can. The pro just fucking knows people and has
Yeah.
sponsorships and whatnot, has their name on a board. So it's all about who they know, bro.
Got you. Got you. Definitely. It sounds very similar again, especially to this side of everything and how it works out. So and here we go. We got Brittany Baby in the chat saying it's
Ooh, who
Tussle. There
dat?
you go.
Oh, who dat? Who
There
dat?
there you go. There you go. Got love for you there in the chat, Tussle.
I
But
think I know what Brittany.
before I let you go, Tussle, I have to ask you the final question here, and that is for yourself. What is the end goal, brother?
Oh man. So at first, my end goal was to get like signed to a big promotion and just be getting that check, and that kind of was the end goal, was like to be comfortable enough with money because I recognize the position that I have. I'm very fucking lucky. There's very, very few independent photographers and videographers that are flown out and paid enough to the point where they can make this their living. So I feel very, very fortunate that I have that ability in the first place. So to me, the monetary goal of being extra comfortable and being able to support everything and everything that I need and not have to second guess getting fucking whatever equipment that I need is sort of the goal. And by that means it was like getting signed to a big promotion, blah blah blah. But ever since then, I've had a lot of other cool opportunities that I feel like if I can stack a bunch of those really cool opportunities and still have the ability to do everything, why pigeonhole myself and try to be with one company that I'm going to be exclusive to them. So, um, realistically, the real goal is for Sammy and I to have some sort of production company where together we get booked for jobs wherever, whether it still be on some sort of independent level or if he's somewhere and he can bring me along, whatever the capacity is. I really, 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 I feel like I told you before, part of the magic is having Sammy there with me. Um, and I don't want to lose that anytime soon. So one of my fears is if I do get offered something and I have to be exclusive here and I have to abandon Revolver, I don't want to fucking do that, at least not anytime soon. So I'm very open to different opportunities. And like I said, I have been vetting different opportunities, seeing what works, seeing scheduling wise what works and what's worth my time and whatnot. But to me, man, the end goal would be Sammy and I have some sort of production company and we fucking take over, dude, because we have a look and an aesthetic that can change the way independent wrestling is seen. And like a lot of times what people acknowledge about our product is when you look at the core, which is the wrestling, the in-ring product, our product is no different than anything on TV. We have just as good of a wrestling product of anyone. You can put our roster against any national TV company and our shit can hold up. The only difference is the production and the venues. They're doing it in front of tens of thousands of people, and we're doing it in front of a couple thousand people. But if you boil it down to wrestling and we take their product and put it in a forest and our product and put it in a forest, it's the fucking same thing, man. It's the same fucking thing. The quality is there on both ends. So we just need to get our product seen by a bigger audience, and those opportunities will come. And there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of opportunities here and there, and Fight TV is awesome. Fight TV is always a cool platform to be on. And who knows, man? Sammy's always got different opportunities coming his way. So I'm just along for the ride, bro. I'm enjoying what I do right now, and I'm busy enough that I have things to do every weekend. I'm flying to Chicago tomorrow for a Dreamwave show. Then the very next day, flying to Texas for Thunder Rosa's promotion Mission Pro, and then flying back on Sunday for some Florida stuff. So, dude, I've adapted to the lifestyle. I love what I do. I consider myself very fucking fortunate. And I'm just gonna keep riding it, dude, until a, hopefully a big life changing opportunity comes, and I can do that and balance everything else.
No, I definitely can't wait to see it. And again, with the ride you guys are on, I don't see that being too long away. Like again, I'm
Yeah.
not just saying this because you're on here and because again, showing support always to Revolver. It is a thing where that product, it's truly on that level. You see it from a story angle, you see it from
Yeah.
just production. It's one of those where it's like you said, if just more people were able to see it,
Yes.
it's right there with any other wrestling company out there. So I commend
Absolutely.
you guys and what you guys are doing. And
Absolutely.
as always, everyone that is watching, show support to Revolver. Links to get your tickets and to follow all things Revolver will be in the description down below, as well as to follow Tussle. Because if you haven't already, make sure you're following the bros right there on Instagram. Follow them there, TUSSLEMANIA. Follow them on Twitter, Tussle X Mania right there.
Yes.
As we're definitely gonna have to do a part 2 because I didn't even touch on that with the new updates even to the Twitter or X as we want to call it
Oh
now.
yeah.
Like you even got to revamp that a little bit, but and there we go. There's my brother Isaac that I mentioned a little while ago. Isaac, we're gonna have to talk because, like I said to Tuss, we're gonna have to. Some big things need to happen, and a little
Yes.
crossover needs to happen eventually.
Isaac's the
But
man. VXS there's a short list of companies that I want to work with, and their style fits my style, I believe. And
mhm.
VXS is on that list of people that I want to work with. So Isaac, book me, Bubba.
No, definitely. Me and
Book
Isaac are always,
me.
always, always talking about things, and definitely, we're gonna have to talk about that because we're gonna have to make some
Yeah.
things happen so I could finally
Yeah.
work with you as well. Because that's
Bro.
that's on my
That'd be
list is
awesome.
finally to get to work with
Yeah, dude.
you and all you guys. But Tussle, thank you again so much for joining me
Of
here, brother.
course.
To
Thank
everyone that
you.
is watching, as always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people. Respect the craft. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.